Hey everyone, welcome back to News Now Nexus. If you're new here, I'm Emmanuel Bassi, and this channel is all about breaking news. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on our exciting new content. Let us dive into today's breaking news.
Topic for today. Was Iran behind the surprise Hamas attack on Israel? The recent surprise attack on Israel by Hamas, a Palestinian militant group, has raised questions about the involvement of external actors, particularly Iran. As tensions in the Middle East continue to simmer, this article explores the possibility of Iran's role in the Hamas attack and the potential implications for regional stability. Listen to these.
Strip. The objective clear: to devastate the capabilities of the Hamas terror group. The IDF spokesperson, speaking a short while ago, updated the public that the military has regained control of all Gaza border towns, but warned that terrorists may remain. The retaliatory strikes come as over 700 Israelis have been confirmed murdered by Hamas's onslaught. The Israeli Health Ministry this morning saying around 2,400 are wounded, with over 300 of the injured in serious condition. 300,000 reservists have been enlisted in the past 48 hours, that number the largest in Israel's history. This is evidently not the first time during the past weekend that rockets have been sent over to Tel Aviv. How is this likely to develop going forward? In particular, that the IDF is saying that they are trying, or at least have controlled, what's going on in the south. What's happening in the rest of the country?
First, I think there is only one way for it to develop in the south, and I hope that my friends in the cabinet and in the government and of course in the IDF and other places will act in this direction. The Hamas leaders, they just broke all world rules, all human rights, all human rules, and what they are doing now is brutal, I will call it war crimes, no doubt. And there's only one outcome that can come out from this, the end game, is that no Hamas existence, no military Hamas, and the four foremost leaders of the Hamas. Al-Aruri, that is the architect of what happened, is now in Beirut, and he should not be safe there. Ania, Mohammed Def, and Sinwar, all four of them should understand that they have a death sentence of on their heads, no matter if it will happen tomorrow, or in 2 days, or in 2 years. Now, some people are comparing what happened now, and I will come back to your question in a second. Some people are comparing what happened, like what happened in 73. Maybe, but it's not right. In 73, there was a big misconception, but it was with soldiers. The soldiers were stuck in the places, in the posts near the canal, and they went there to fight and save Israel. Now we're talking about civilians in their homes inside Israel. It cannot happen. So the Hamas should pay a devastating price, and I am really glad that finally, I think it's starting, that the IDF is starting to take off its gloves. No more knock on the roof, no more humanitarian aid. I'm telling you from here, I don't understand. We stopped the electricity, but someone told me a few hours ago they still have fuel in their power reactor until Wednesday. What is the meaning they have power, the fuel? We have to take down the power reactor, we take down the fuel. I don't care about we have to take down all the water desalinations. I know that some of them are not working. Nothing should work in Gaza, and unfortunately, the suffer for the people of Gaza came from their leaders. Now, I am saying another thing that I know that not everyone agree with me. Iran is backing everything. Don't listen to everyone that try to say, and even to the American administration trying to say, we don't find any connection. I know that Iran is funding the Hamas and the Hezbollah. It's Iran behind, it's Iran plan, it's Iran authorization to do this assault. So Iran will have to pay the price. Maybe not immediately, but they'll have to pay the price. Some of the money that the Iranians are giving to Hamas coming from the United States or coming with appraisal or allowance of the United States. Some people say 6 billion, 10 billion. I'm telling you 16, it's more than $50 billion if you take into an account the oil revenues from selling oil with US acceptance to other places. So Iran is behind. And the last thing I want to say for beginning is that we should not wait for the Hezbollah to get the order from the Hamas or to do the same surprise that the Hamas did for us in the south, and to wait and to see what's happened. There is time for us to take the lead, to take the to be the one that will surprise our enemies, and to do what we need to preempt and to prevent the Hezbollah in the north to do what the Hamas did in the south.
Just a few hundred meters away from the wall on the blue line that separates Israel from Lebanon, and just on the foreground you have an industrial zone of an Israeli community. The problem is we cannot enter these communities adjacent to the border because of the heightened state of alert. The army has basically invested those communities, urging the residents to leave, although the leaving of the residents, the evacuation of the residents is not mandatory at this point. It's only a recommendation. But we're being told that hundreds, just in this sector, hundreds of soldiers are lying on the ground, in the maquis, in the scrubland, in ambush, to foil any potential infiltration, just as the Israeli army scenario had predicted for years that there would be infiltrations along the northern border, not along the southern border, and the taking of hostages by Hezbollah, the armed Iranian-backed militia, but not from Hamas. And that's the issue. Now, the effect of surprise is done. The thing is that Israel doesn't want to take a chance with Hezbollah. We've heard the reassurances of the Lebanese officials, but nobody here will trust them. The residents with whom we've spoken have just told us, please leave the place. Don't attract attention to our place, because Hezbollah is watching us, and thus we have great difficulty speaking with residents of those communities, at least those who haven't left the area.
I think, again,
thank you so much, Pierre. We're going to come back into studio now with our guests now on that update. Professor, you have a comment.
I just heard what he said, that my good friends from the IDF is doing in the north. I am repeating, we should change our mind, we should change our concept and move from defense to offense. Now, putting those soldiers to wait for infiltration so we can stop them in the north or in the south, it's okay, it's very important, it's very good. But we have to take the advantage, we have to take the lead, we have to take the surprise, we have to surprise our enemies. I agree that some of the surprise element is done, it's gone. The one that won this part of the war is the Hamas that surprised us, no doubt. But it's, again, one of the worst times that we have, as I said before, something between Pearl Harbor and 9/11. And this is what happened. It's not Yom Kippur. It's like between Pearl Harbor and 9/11, and we should do what happened to the Japanese after World War II, and even more, much more, because the Japanese survived. What happened to the Japanese, that they are down on their flat on their face and not allowed to do this and this and this. We should do much, much more to the Hamas in Gaza, so no one will dare to do things like this in the future. Now, there is a time, it's time of confusement, it's time we have to leave it aside. We will have time to ask all the questions. What happened? Why it happened? Who to blame? We'll have enough time for it later. Now we have to unify all the people in Israel, and I see so many warming things about unifying about volunteering, about everything. It's okay. But the IDF, the Shabak, the Mossad, our intelligence, they have to fight only one goal now. The Hamas should regret the moment it started it. Of course, its leaders, they should not leave their families, their homes, their properties. They cannot survive it, no matter where they are. Some people are telling me they are not in Israel anymore. So what? We know how to get them also if they are not in Israel. Like it was after Munich in the Olympics, how it was the US did on Bin Laden. This is what we had now with the Hamas. We open the balance until all of them are dead. The balance is not going to be done, and I'm sure that my friends in the cabinet, in the NSA, and in the IDF are going to think the same. I know that sometimes people are saying we need time. I'm saying one thing, we don't have time. Time is running against us. Why? Because now the world is in shock. 82 countries until yesterday already condemned. Some of them you didn't even think. I'm afraid, unfortunately, someone like Abu Mazen that could rise to the opportunity. He came out and he was talking to the Arab leaders, we have to stop the Israeli retaliation, it's crazy. He's talking now about Israeli retaliation, Israeli fighting. He didn't even say a word of what happened, what Hamas, what those animals. They are animals.
The Palestinians' right for self-defense.
This is what he had to say in response. And the same the Qataris. I don't like even the Turkish response. The UAE response, first one was not good. After a little help, they took out a much better response about what happened. The Saudis' response is not so good. People are saying why it happened. I don't know why it happened. I don't care. Of course, the peace talks have something to do, but there are other things that have to do with it.
Should we care about the international reaction to what's about to unfold?
No.
We've been given the green light by a fortune of Western countries to do what needs to be done. Will that change?
But what I'm saying is that time is in our side now. And I don't know if we have, some people say we have weeks. I don't think so. Even so, I say even in 2 months, if we won't finish, we should not listen to the international. Unfortunately, the time comes that you have to listen. We have this time now to do whatever we need. We have to take this time and to do whatever we need without gloves, without any hesitations. And I'm telling you, from closed doors, it went out. Even the legal advisors that everyone likes to hate, they said, do whatever you want. You have all the right to do whatever you need.
That wraps up today's video, folks. I hope you enjoyed it and found it entertaining, informative, helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and drop your thoughts in the comments below. I really love to hear from you. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and join our community by hitting that subscribe button. Until next time, this is Emmanuel Bassi from News Now Nexus, signing off. Stay positive, curious, adventurous, etc., and see you in the next video. God bless.